it could cause problems between the North and the South.
They are trying to pit the North and the East against each other. You guys don't understand the level of ethnic baiting this is. Just imagine the propaganda New York Times magazine wrote. They said one Emeka in Onitsha was the one that gave Donald Trump and America the information on where to launch an airstrike in Nigeria. And Emeka, who is selling screwdriver in Onitsha, was the one that told Donald Trump where to launch an airstrike in Nigeria. He was the one that pointed Sokoto for them to launch an airstrike in Sokoto. Do you know what that means? This can cause an ethnic tension between North and the East.
I've told you Nigerians that when it's getting towards election time, expect more propagandas, expect more division and instigation by the government. It is no news that the method of the Nigerian government or Nigerian politician to divide the people is usually by ethnic division, or they use religion to divide the people.
Let's take a look at some reactions. Senator Shehu Sani wrote on Twitter, "It's unfortunate and tragic to read the New York Times report that the claim of Christian genocide was sourced from one Emeka, an Onitsha-based screwdriver trader and operator of a small NGO who falsely claims to have documented 125,000 Christian deaths using Google searches. How such an unverified claim could tense up the US lawmakers, president and the intelligence community that led to an airstrike is one of the most foolish and comical historical events in our lifetime. This is shameful." Well, Sir Inyang also tweeted, and he writes, "Oh, but the media has been reporting community mass killings, killings in churches, bandits activities, terrorist activities, herdsmen activities, kidnappings, etc. I think Nigerians mainly want the killings and terrorism to stop, period." Some people going as far as saying, see, this is how the $9 million is working. There are now think pieces coming up here and there. But let me start with you, Rufai. A lot of conversation around this. Because the man is a salesman of screwdrivers and other appliances or other, tools in Onitsha, does that discredit his ability to do investigative research?
I think it's a hit job by New York Times. And it is sad that media is doing this in the world. And for New York Times to say that it was solely this man's opinion that made the call for Christian genocide rife in the country is falsehood. They say people quoted him, people like Ted Cruz and the likes quoted him and all of that. Yes, they might have quoted him, but to say it's solely his report that tipped the balance is false. So let me give you empirical facts. Bishop Winifred Aniegbe, Catholic Bishop of the Makati Diocese, on the 12th of March 2025, testified before the House of Foreign Subcommittee on Africa on religious persecution of Nigerians, describing attacks on Christians and displacement and church destruction, and an Islamic agenda to control land. In November 2025, they returned to testify at another House subcommittee on that matter. Reverend Remigus Ihula, Catholic Bishop of Makurdi, March 12, 2025, joined Bishop Aniegbe in the testimony before the House. Mushpa Ape, survivor of the June 2025 Yewata attack, also virtually testified from Benue, testified between the House Foreign Subcommittee on Africa, which she emotionally recounted watching her 5 children slaughtered.
Yes. Several people have.
So there have been several accounts. So for New York Times to hitch it on this story and say the screwdriver salesman was the one that wrote this, is sort of like a hit job to me. And it even makes mockery of the American intelligence system. You get, if they say it's based on this. But I disagree with you, New York Times, as regards this case. And I've given empirical facts. And if there's more, yes, there's another guy called, I think, Francis Tor. He too has been a regular person that testified. In fact, he's worked with many U.S. lawmakers, In fact, he used to hold a position in Benue State. There have been many, and I can cite many other sources.
This, Dr. Abati, your take on this?
Okay, no, with regard to the contract with DCI Group to prove that there is Christian there's no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Yes, people said, well, maybe those lobbies are already working. That's why you are seeing this kind of story in the New York Times. Now, against what has been reported by the New York Times, before now, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria, Yusuf Tuga, made it very clear that, look, it was the Nigerian government that provided intelligence to the American government, and that it was a collaborative effort, a point that was again, backed up by the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. So how on earth did all that get reduced to the fact that it's one screwdriver man screwing things up and down that is responsible for the action? The other danger here is that it could cause problems between the North and the South.
Yeah.
Because now you say, let's put it where it is, Emeka Umeagbase, an Igbo man in Onitsha.
That's intentional.
So he's the one who has invited the United States to come and bomb people in Sokoto. That in itself is divisive. It's not the kind of narrative that should be promoted because of the implications.